still oblivious, but I was like, okay, all right, hands in pocket. You know, just you know, like I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, when people try not to look like a tourist, they make themselves look like a tourist.
I look bad. I know I look bad.
Are we recording?
Yep,
good.
I had my little carry-on bag. I was like, oh shit, they gonna get me.
Fox, you would have got. Like,
Fortunately, I didn't have to go that far, but it seemed like it was too far.
Yeah.
You in the subway, you got to be irritated and in a hurry. Period.
Yeah, you got to. Yo, you so got to be in such a hurry. Yo, my man, yo, fam, I ain't got no time.
Right.
Hey, yo, brother, yo, fam, I'm on the move, fam. Like that's how you keep everything away from you.
I was like, nope. I was like that in overseas too. You do that like them Africans. They try to get at you, try to carry your bag, and then they ask you for money to get it back.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah, overseas, same thing. Nope, it's my bag. I got it. Nope.
Damn. All right, y'all, we back.
Yeah.
Live from the green room. Welcome everybody.
Welcome.
I guess we can say Happy New Year. It's a new year.
Happy New Year.
It doesn't
New
matter
Year.
when this airs. It's gonna be in 2024. So Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
Hope you made it through safely and wasn't too drunk the next morning or hungover and didn't lose valuables like a lot of people did. So, happy 2024. What are you looking forward to in 24, Trey Elliott?
Oh man, looking to just more blessings, man. More blessings, more opportunities. You know what I mean? Podcast is doing big things for 2024. Working, man. This a strike to be like over where auditions are starting to come in for 2024.
Yes.
And yeah, man, it's already starting off to a good year though, bro. I just got my son just sent me a text. He just got accepted to grad school.
Oh,
Bryce.
Yeah,
Bryce.
man.
Bryce.
So it's already starting off
Bryce.
good. Yeah.
Fox, what you looking forward to?
Man, just more of the same. We had a great year.
Yes.
I'm just looking for the next evolution, what we started on and we embarked on this podcast, man. It's already looking up. The last time I looked, we are at 145 subscribers.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
145,000 subscribers. You heard what he said? 145 million subscribers.
Already, man.
Cut the check.
Yeah, so
get it.
I'm really looking forward to the evolution of this. We got it started on a good thing. So
I like that this podcast
Among
so
other
far in what it's been has been very diverse, very diverse. We've had Mike Hill, we got the sports world. You know, we've done our origin stories. We've had other comedians on. So it's not really like we're in one lane.
right.
And that's what I like about it because I think that we're all able to talk about very many things.
Oh, yeah.
And engage with very many people. So that's what this podcast reflects. And that leads me into this episode because this gentleman I met at the Comedy Store with Tiffany Haddish.
Yes.
And she was singing your praises like, I'm like, this guy must be special, man. And she was saying how she was going through things and he was the guy that helped her through it. And correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
And like she was in a dark place and he was just the guy that was the shining light and the voice of reason. And then he and I started talking and he is a therapist. He is a author, a public speaker.
Yes.
And he threw his hat in the comedy ring now and he does stand up as well.
I saw the clip.
But I definitely want to get into the therapy, mental health aspect of it all first and foremost.
Yep.
Because it seems like, and you would know more than I would, it seems like people, black people in particular, are more conscious, more so than ever, of their mental health and the help that they need paying attention to, I guess, their mental health and being aware of their mental health. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight on Live from the Green Room is Mr. Elliot Connie.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
So, would you agree with that first
I
statement?
would absolutely agree with that. 100%. I agree with that.
People are paying attention more to their...
Yeah, we have to. I think what's changed is a few things, but predominantly people like you who have an audience and a name and a reputation. You have access to online platforms and are open about talking about your mental health journeys.
Right.
And it makes us say, well, if Tiffany Haddish is talking about it, and if Charlamagne the God is talking about
Right.
it, and if so-and-so is talking about it, like, it gives us permission to talk about it. And, I mean, it's crazy. Y'all wouldn't believe my phone is... I look at my phone and be like, does that name say what? You know, like, because everybody, man, like...
Jesse Smollett.
I seen that name.
He was like, delete. Can't take that call.
And I will take the call. I take everybody's call.
Cat Williams.
You called about that. Few.
Man,
More than a few.
Yeah, there's a lot of chum out there concerning Cat Williams. Yeah. Mental health is an issue. Not to say that we don't have mental health issues, man.
But everybody does. Like, I don't even know. I don't know how you can be a black man in America and not have mental health struggles,
There you go.
anxieties, fears, depressions, frustrations. Like, I don't know how you can live in this world and not have those struggles. So, like, I think we think of mental health as like a problem, like a flaw, something wrong with you.
Right.
But this world is fucked up. Like, it's a really crazy world we live in.
I remember-
How am I supposed to navigate this shit? Like, it's crazy.
I saw a quote from James Baldwin. He said something to the effect of, to be black in America and to be relatively conscious is to walk around in a constant rage.
Well, here, I can give you a quantifiable experience as to what I mean when I say, like, whenever I say this shit, like, how could you be black in America and not experience trauma? I can remember, I don't know how old you guys are, I'm 47. So I graduated from high school in the mid-90s, and I remember taking like a social studies class. Okay. And I remember my teacher stood up in front of the class, and he was like, man, in 1964, we saw a man killed on national television. And I'm 16 at the time, 17. I was like, what? Y'all saw it? And he was talking about Jack Ruby shooting.
Right.
I was like, damn, y'all saw somebody shot on that? Fast forward 20, 30 years, I remember, like, when I'm sitting in my therapy office, before COVID, when I had a, like, regular office, sitting in my office, and I used to play around on social media just to, like, decompress from the session before I go to the next session. And I'm scrolling down, and I just see a black dude just shot. Like, just in front of me. I wasn't looking for it. I'm just scrolling. And I'll never forget this video. It was a cop standing about 20 feet away from this brother. He's standing just like this. The white dude, the white cop pulled his gun, drew his gun down, and the black dude turned and ran, and the cop unloaded on him.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, I just saw a man assassinated by accident.
Right.
Like, that wasn't even the intentional thing I intended to see. And from that moment, the first murder I saw on social media, I've probably seen 3 dozen now, trying to avoid all of them.
First, let me say God bless you because you saw it on social media. I've seen in my lifetime 3 people shot dead in my lifetime. In real time, in real space,
Right.
in my neighborhood, like, oh, that guy got a gun. Bang, oh shit, that guy's dead. And had to go home and eat dinner and get ready for school the next day.
But here's so I have seen some drama. I grew up in Boston, so I've seen some.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing I would say about that. Like, I knew when I was growing up, I was born on the west side of Chicago. I knew, like, a consequence of living right here is I'm gonna see things like this. Right. Like, you just know. Or some of us at some points in our life got involved in activities that put us in line to see that stuff. So on some levels of a choice. I'm looking at cat memes. And then I see murder. Like, today, you just like, oh, look at my...
And by cat memes, you mean pussy.
cat memes. See what kind of
You know,
podcast.
big booty holes and it's somebody get shot. Like, hey.
No, I didn't mean for real. Like, you're looking at so-and-so had
Right.
their child just graduated from high school. Look at that cute picture. The next video is a CNN post of somebody getting... Like, your brain is not designed to take in all that content.
That's
like,
what I was about to say. You have, with social media, you go through so many different emotions in a matter of seconds. And it's like your brain is like, all right, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go.
No.
You know what I mean?
We were just joking about Brooklyn. I could say to Tony, right? We could be in Brooklyn. I could say to Tony, hey, let's go to such and such a club.
Right.
And he knows, here are the things I need to be prepared to see this night. If I say yes, I'm going to go hang out at this club in this location, this area, I know what this night could look like. You literally can be on social media, I'm just checking out Facebook and see anything. Just whatever the algorithm is designed to show you.
Yeah.
And it shows people just like us, everybody in this room happens to be a male of color, and it shows people just like us where their crime that got them killed was just being a male of color.
Right.
I don't understand how we can go through life without acknowledging we have trauma. Like, that creates trauma.
I was saying earlier before we even started, Conclusion and I were talking, and I told him that you were the guest, and I said, you know what's interesting about black men in particular, or men of color in particular, when it comes to just talking and speaking out about mental health, why we don't do it. And I was like, it's funny, but it's not funny, right? So a black man will tell his girl, he'll call it being vulnerable, right? And the first argument they have is, yeah, motherfucker, that's why you were suicidal 2 years ago when your mother died.
Dang.
And now he's like, this is why I don't tell you anything, right?
Facts.
Or he tells his boys, yo, man, I've really been struggling with these emotions. Oh, this bitch ass motherfucker. And now they clowning him every night in front of chicks or at parties when they get drunk. He's the source of entertainment. And that's why we don't say shit.
Right. We hold
Part
it
of the
in.
reason.
Right?
Yeah.
Then how does that in turn play out? his health is messed up because you can't keep that shit in.
No.
Now his stomach's messed up. You got diabetes, hypertension, anxiety. And that's why black men end up dying at like 57 years old. Because if I could just talk and say something, but then I would be, scrutinized, ostracized, ridiculed, whatever. Yeah. So that's why we just sit quietly and suffer in silence.
But that's part of the reason. Another part of the reason, and like I feel like I have to acknowledge this, and I talk about it on stages and in books, but psychotherapy was designed for Europeans. So if
How?
Because that's where it was created. Like that's what psychotherapy designed. It was created in that space. So like, here's an example. When I walked in, so I was just telling you, I don't like living in Texas. Texas is not my favorite place.
Arlington, right?
Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, you from Arlington. We just came there.
Yeah. I missed you by a day.
What?
Missed you by a day.
Oh man, you would have had a good time, brother.
Yeah, I missed you by a day. And when I walked in, the first thing I saw was you wearing Timbs.
Right.
First thing I said, and that looks comfortable to me, because where I grew up, it was standard issue. Everybody had 3 pairs of shoes. It didn't matter where you were. You had these 3 pairs of shoes. You had a pair of Timbs, a pair of white on white Air Force Ones, and a pair of New Balance. That was like the standard issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I live in Texas, and that's not the case. So I walk in, I saw you, and I was like, I mean, I've known you, we've talked before, but I saw it, and I was like, this makes me feel comfortable. He's like, from my culture. So what would it be like if you said to somebody close to you, like, man, I'm really struggling with my mental health. Like, I'm having some serious issues.
Right.
And that person loves you, cares for you, and says, you know what, you need to go find a psychotherapist. And you're like, you're right. I need to go talk to somebody. And you look online and you find some random number, some random website, you schedule the appointment, you show up at the person's office, you walk in and it says Trump 2024.
Yeah.
He's wearing a cowboy boot and a bolo tie. Now, I'm not saying people like that are bad, but I am saying that instant connection I had when I saw your Timbs, the opposite happens.
Right.
So now all of a sudden I don't really feel comfortable exposing myself to it.
Right.
And another thing is racism is an incredibly difficult thing to explain to people. Now, it's easy to
say that.
Like, we're not getting shot with fire hoses anymore as we go try to vote. We're not trying to, people don't want to sit in the back of the bus anymore, and we're allowed to apply at universities, that kind of stuff. Like those things don't exist, but that real subtle nuance.
Microaggressions?
I don't like the word microaggression. Yeah. Micro means small, and it's actually significant, but those small things where it's like, Tony, we were going to cast you for that part, but, or like, Trey, we're going to put you in that part, but we're looking for somebody a little less, like
when they hit you with that,
So it's hard, like, it's real crazy hard.
Wait, can I just put a pin in that 1 second?
Yeah.
And I think black people, I'm sure black, I don't even think, I know we see that more than everybody else. We see the small things.
Facts.
Right? They know I'm house hunting. I saw a house in Sylmar. Beautiful. Affordable, was right in my price range, bigger than I even expected. I'm driving down the street. I see an American flag in one yard. I drive a little further. There's an American flag in the next yard across the street. I drive a little further. There's another American flag in the yard. And I drive a little further, and the guy has an American flag, but it's the blue and gray one that says back to blue.
Yeah.
And I told my realtor, we don't need to see this house.
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't live on that block. Right. And like you said, we're not saying people like that are bad.
No.
Yeah.
They're just not good.
They're
just not good. They're not good to us.
Well, I can't even say that. They might be wonderful people. What I'm saying is,
it's not wonderful to us.
those clues do not engender comfort to you.
Right.
So like,
engender. I like that word.
Yeah. Like, I don't see that and immediately think, oh, I'm comfortable in this space. They might be wonderful people. I didn't give them a chance to get to know them.
Yeah, I thought.
But the odds are, one of y'all might have, like, I make enough money in my Texas area. I live in an affluent neighborhood.
Right.
And I quite enjoy it. I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I grew up in a very bad environment. I just dreamed to have my own bedroom. And now I can have my own damn house. And I can afford to move into this neighborhood where my neighbors are white. Like, that was unfathomable at a different point in my life.
Yeah.
And then when 2016 happened, I tell people this all the time, I literally had to drive through a gauntlet of hate every single day.
Wow.
Getting into my neighborhood and out of my neighborhood every day.
Wow.
Because it wasn't like, y'all remember elections through our life. It was like, Reagan, Bush, 1984, whatever. It was like, go home or, I was like, this is insane. Like, the shit y'all putting in your yard is insane. Like, it is absolutely insane. the craziness that I was seeing in my own neighborhood.
We saying they're not bad people, they just not good.
Right.
And it was real hard.
That's what I saw. I saw that house, and I saw those flags, and I saw a vision of my future, like coming home late one night. And I thought he was a burglar. We shot him, and the whole street's gonna go, yep.
He lives.
The whole street's gonna go, yeah. Everybody with the flag is gonna go, yeah. I get it. I understand why you shot him.
He said, "Understand why you
Like
shot
I cannot
him."
live on this block.
Like,
That's
he lives
absolutely
right
true.
there.
That's absolutely true. So yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge that mental health needs to be discussed because we all go through it. But it's also important. People ask me like why I dress this way. Like my peers in my field ask me all the time.
We talked about it that night at the comedy
Yeah.
show, but I want you to explain.
They ask me all the time, like, why do you dress that way? And I always tell them the same thing for two reasons. I dress this way because I've always dressed this way. I mean, I couldn't afford Armani back in the day, but like I always dressed in a hip hop world. And also because I want Tony Rock to see him when he's looking for a therapist like me. I want Elliot I want you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see yourself in the professional you want to go open up to, because I want you to walk in and be like, oh, he's wearing Timbs. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I'm going to have to talk to this person about some really sensitive things. I want to resonate.
Right.
It's funny because I think I just recently got a therapist. This is like the second time. My first therapist I was like in the 7th grade. But I recently got a therapist, and when I was looking, I was like, I want a black female therapist. And I was scrolling, looking, and I had to call, and the lady, I think she was white. She's like, "Well, what are you looking for?" I said, "Look, this is what I want, lady. I said I want an African American female therapist." And she's like, "Okay, let's see. We have 2 here, And so it was slim pickings.
Had him in a cage. You got 2 here. You got these 2.
But I was very specific, as far as what I wanted at this point in time of my life. You know what I mean? And I definitely wanted somebody who looked like me, who could relate to what I was going through.
Yeah.
And women, I was raised in a sense by heavy influence with women. My mom, my grandmother, my sister, my aunts, and I wanted that nurturing, feel of a black woman to help me.
Yeah, and the thing that I want to make very, very clear, and I'm absolutely not saying that a black man can't do therapy with a white person or vice versa. But what you're actually saying is I just want to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the therapist's job to earn that. It's the therapist's job to help you feel comfortable. But it's easily done. It's more easily done when you experience a culture connection.
I want to walk in and be like, "Nigga." Let me tell you.
Yeah. So that explains the outfit. Like, you want us to connect. So if my therapist looks like this, I would have no problem talking to him.
Correct.
If my accountant dressed like this, that nigga probably not gonna get hired. I'm like, nah, homie, I need that suit. I need to see that money.
That's funny.
So I had a question about, you kind of touching on like my therapist. I want this, I want that. Well, like someone at my age that's wanting to get a therapist, how do I go about doing it? And not where do I find it, but like finding the right one. Like, someone's dressed like you, that's cool. But as far as how they assess, my needs, my therapy needs, like how do I know I'm getting the right thing? Because I've never done it before.
Man, this is a super important question. And the best way I can say it is with persistence.
Okay.
Because what we tend to do with therapy is you'll go to therapy. Someone will suggest a therapist to you. You go to therapy, and you don't experience it as helpful. And you say a blanket statement like therapy didn't work. But I want you to say that person didn't work.
Yeah,
So
I remember you were saying that on the Breakfast Club.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to find another one until I find that one that's like, ooh, this is the one I can talk to.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if I'm trying to give it a chance and I've never been to therapy, the feeling of, oh, this is working, or the natural progression of how long I should give it a chance, like I have no perspective. 3 sessions. There you go. After 3 sessions, if I'm not feeling...
There's a ton of research that says if you are not feeling hopeful and moving towards change within 3 sessions, it likely won't happen.
Hopeful and moving towards change. I like that. Because I don't know. How do I know?
It likely won't happen.
And correct me if I'm
Apply
wrong.
that to dating, too. Go on 3 dates.
Okay, no, that don't. Okay, first of all, how much money do we got? A date in a therapy session, they should not be the same.
They're not about the same these days.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing too, it depends on what you go into therapy for. I guess so I say that because the first time I went to therapy, I was in the 7th grade, right? Why did I go? I went. I was a kid, back from Jersey. We would get bologna from the deli. We'd go to the corner store, get the bologna, and we always had that red string around the bologna.
I remember.
I didn't know. Young Harry up ate the bologna, didn't realize the string was around the bologna, choked on the string, right? So I was good. My stepbrother came. He helped me regurgitate to get the string out. I was fine for about a week or two, and then all of a sudden, I felt like every time I was eating, I was choking.
Yeah.
So I was literally scared to swallow. Pause. Swallow. Swallow.
Up and swallow.
It's not a pause show.
Yeah.
I'm unpausable. It's not a pause show.
So I was scared. I was literally
That nigga
scared.
paused.
I was literally scared to
Somebody
eat.
sent me that video. That's great.
And so it was bad. Like I was even scared to swallow my own saliva. So that's how bad and I lost a lot of weight. They, from a black family, they prayed. They was trying to pray it away and in the name of Jesus and all this. And my mom, took me to ear, nose, throat specialist. They couldn't figure it out. So eventually my mom was like, I think he needs to see a therapist. Cause I was like, Ma, I'm telling you, like, I'm scared. Like, I feel like I'm choking. And literally I went to the therapist. His name was Dr. Guerrero. Looked like the therapist that was on The Simpsons. And I used to go every Wednesday morning before school. And I remembered in my first session, he had me write down all of the foods that I like to eat. He said, I don't care what it is. So I had, eggs, cake, ice cream, chicken, anything that I like to eat. I had to write all that down. And in that session, we would talk about everything but food. We talked about everything. And then at the end of each session, he said, listen, this week I want you to try to circle one of these foods on the list, and I want you to eat that for the whole week. And week by week, it was working. I was like, yo, I don't know what he doing, but it actually worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, it shouldn't depend on what the problem is. Like you could have walked in and said, my whole family was just kidnapped by aliens. Like it wouldn't matter. Like if the therapist is good at his job, you're going to immediately feel hopeful, and hope immediately makes you more resilient.
Nice.
So if you have hope,
I like that.
you can immediately go through
Hope
almost
immediately
anything.
makes you resilient.
It does. Like all of you are really successful in a very hard space to be successful.
True. And lie.
So if I told, let's imagine Tony's like struggling, right? He's like, I really want this part. I really want to take this to the next level, whatever. If I told Tony, I'm from the future, and I convinced him that was true, and 2 years from this date, you're going to be the biggest comedian in the world. But every day leading up to that going to be real hard. You just got to find a way to get through it. But then you're going to have your break. He can deal with every hardship that comes. Most successful people have this weird trait that they believe it's going to work. So when hard things happen, their resilience stays really high because they have a way of holding on to hope. Like success requires that, right? So when you come to therapy, it's not really about fixing the problem. You think that list and the circling helped. That's not what helped. For whatever reason, you believed it would work. You trusted Dr. Guerrero. That's why it worked.
Yeah.
Right? And once you believe it, you're like, the trick of your mind is like, even if I have a hard time swallowing something on Tuesday, I can get through it because I'm going to keep doing what that guy told me to do because I trust and believe him. Right? So when that happens, your ability to withstand something hard goes through the roof. Like you become, and I know this is kind of a weird word to say, but you become unstoppable.
Nice.
Like, and there are certain people that are just unstoppable because they can't let go of it's going to work. So you can fire me, you cannot give me whatever role. I'm going to keep doing this thing. And then what happens is eventually you have your big break. It's just like this thing happens, and all of a sudden I'm on every billboard, and I'm on every such and such, I'm on everything.
Isn't that
That's interesting. Weren't we talking about the audition process that time? Was it you and I?
Probably.
And I said, I go to an audition, and I go because we were talking about somebody worrying about an audition. I think it was Fox.
I think we've had.
And I said, my thing is, I go in as prepared as possible. Like I'm not winging it at all. I go in thinking I'm the guy for the role. Once I audition and I leave the room, before the door even closes, I'm not thinking about that shit at all. I'm not gonna go through the rest of my day like, oh, they didn't call, but looking at the phone. I can't live the rest of my day like that. So once I leave the room, it's an afterthought to me.
Yeah.
I don't hold on to it at all until I get that phone call like, hey, okay, well now I can put it back on my brain. But I'm not leaving the room taking that shit with me.
But I need you to know that's an incredibly unusual skill.
Wait, hold on.
I would say that's part of why you're so successful.
Second part, I remember vividly taking acting class in New York City. Joanna Bexon was my acting teacher. And she went around the room and said, I want everybody to say 2 things. I think it was 2 or 3 things that they like about themselves. And I said, I see the good in everything. And I said, I never get discouraged. And she told the class, did you hear what he just said? Did you? She's like, if you really saying those are 2 things that you really see in yourself, you should keep those 2 things forever. And I swear to you, I told Fox, when I go on an audition, I might not get that role, but I guarantee you're gonna see me again.
Right.
Yeah.
I guarantee you're gonna see me again. I told him, I might be in this room and you might not even be here. But I'm gonna be in this room again.
Be in this room.
You're gonna see me.
Okay, so I want to hone in on the second thing you said, which is the ability to never be discouraged.
Right.
Y'all need to understand, everybody out there watching, that is a superhuman trait. Let me tell you why it's so important. Here in LA, they don't give you rejections. They give you fuck yous.
Oh,
Man.
say it again.
And what I mean by that, if you, in my world, right, if you're in the academic world and one of y'all applies for a job as a therapist, we're just going to say, no, we didn't pick you. In LA, they look you up and down. You too fat. You too ghetto. You too
Judgment.
ugly, you too whatever. Like, they give you harsh criticism. And what a lot of people don't know, like a lot of the people I talk to that are super famous and movie stars, and I'm talking A-list stars, they will tell me I had to audition 232 times before I got cast.
Yeah.
So imagine hearing 232 fuck yous. It's incredibly difficult not to get discouraged.
And sometimes they don't tell you anything.
But here's the thing. You don't know how many, I might have 232, I might have 232,000.
Right.
I don't know. So why get discouraged?
But
it might be 2.
But you need to understand, I agree with you.
So why get discouraged?
I'm agreeing with you. And I hope every person watching this hears that and says, Tony Rock and people who are successful, they tend to have an internal representation of themselves.
Yes.
Which means your feedback doesn't touch me.
Yeah.
One of the most important things I heard you say the night we met, I asked him, how did you know? Because I'm real fascinated by people's choices.
Yeah.
And and not just like, do you choose to, smoke cigarettes or not, but just like how people choose to live their life. And I asked you, how did you know that you wanted to be a comic? Do you remember the story you told me?
Which
He told me, he said, and I mean like a professional,
Right,
working comic. He said one night, I'm getting goosebumps now because this is the stuff that is super important. One night he was performing somewhere in New York. The club couldn't afford to pay you.
6 chicken wings.
So they gave him 6 chicken wings.
Yep.
He's on the subway eating these chicken wings, and he said to himself,
This
if
is
this
the
is
best
all
life.
I
Yeah.
ever get paid,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing this.
I said, it doesn't get better than this. So it cannot get better than this.
Yeah.
So right there, that's that internal. So if I think this is the life, if someone says you're not funny, you can't, it won't matter. Like it doesn't touch you because I've already decided. Like this is the life.
And now think about that, and you're the therapist, but I'm saying, think about that for the comic that's watching. If I'm sitting there with the 6 chicken wings thinking it doesn't get better than this, then everything that was better than that was mind-blowing and holy shit moments. I've had holy shit moments. I sat on a dirty subway train with 6 wings saying it doesn't get better than this, and then I got cast in a sitcom. So imagine me going from that to that.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I ever get discouraged in the future? Why would I never let a no stop me?
That's exactly right.
That's pure gratitude for what you have in your life right now. And then I think God rewards that. He said, if you're going to be thankful for this little thing right here, let me give you something.
Give me something more.
But that's a superpower. Gratitude, I don't know anybody with high levels of gratitude that also doesn't have a high level of quality of life. And you have to train your brain not just to be thankful for the good things like casting in a TV show or traveling to Arlington and performing and all those things. It's got to be like, here's a sick example. So I run a large psychotherapy training business, like millions of dollars a year of revenue, large.
Okay.
And somebody hacked they actually hacked a contractor associated with us. And then that got access to my social media. And they it set us back about $1 million.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yikes.
it really rocked our company, you know.
Right.
Like, and I made 2 decisions. First decision, I'm not laying off anybody. I'm gonna find a way. I've been poor before. I can be poor again. I'm gonna find a way to make sure we keep the entire staff as we go through this ordeal. It took about 3 months to sort out whatever. The second decision I made, I'm gonna find a way to be grateful for this experience. I don't know how, but I'm gonna find a way to be grateful that somebody took $1 million out of my life. And I remember I was on a walk and I was chewing on it. Like, how do I find a way? Because it's got to be genuine. It can't just be like, I'm super thankful.
Yeah,
yeah. It's weird. It's got to be genuine. Yeah. And I was on a walk and it hit me and I was like, you know what? I never thought in my whole life I'd have enough money that somebody could just take $1 million.
There you go. There you go.
And secondly, one day I'm going to write a book. I'm going to take a stage. I'm going to tell a story on how I got that shit back. And then it's like, I'm grateful for it because it's an opportunity to show people how dynamic my company is, how dynamic I am as a businessman, how strong-willed I can be, how grateful I am for my team because I didn't lay off none of them, didn't set none of them back financially, nothing. And you think about that and you're just like, you've got to train your brain to be grateful for everything. The ability to be grateful for chicken wings on a dirty subway allows you to experience everything. It's like, this is a beautiful moment. Yeah. Including having someone steal $1 million. Because I never thought I'd be in that position. And here I am. It happened. And now we've had, you have to do things and adjust. And to me, it became like chess. It's like, I can't wait to tell everybody how I did this. I can't wait for everybody to see this dude is serious because he could recover from like the biggest blow that he can take. Right. And that's the trick of life, is realizing, like, I got to be grateful for it all because all of it is a moment gifted to you.
I tell young comics all the time, they're so concerned with like next year and when they get this and when they get that. And I'm like, bro, you missing right here and right now.
Facts.
And this shit is dope.
Facts.
The bringer shows portion of it is incredible. That's when you're making friendships in the business.
Facts.
That are going to last you for the next 20, 30 years if you're lucky, right?
Facts.
The auditioning to be a regular at a club and get paid spots. That portion is amazing.
Yes.
You so worried about being on TV and you missing the party that
process.
you at, thinking about the party you're going to in 10 years.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely right.
It's like, yo, just enjoy this part. And plus people get I think they do that for 2 reasons. Number one, because they being like, they have the foresight of where they want to be.
Yeah.
But also I think it's because they think that it's going to be so long before they get there that they just don't even work. They're not concerned with this. But this could be, if you really look at the breadth of your career, at the end of the day, that's probably gonna be this
That
much.
Yeah.
It's like it's about that much of your time. You know what I'm saying? I was doing bringer shows for maybe a year or 2 before I was a paid regular. I'm 25 in now. I never looked at it like, yo, this shit is taking too long. Like what? It's like, bro, this is gonna be at the end of the day, this is gonna be such a small amount of time that I spent doing this. Why you not like? Why shouldn't I enjoy it? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, careers aren't microwave.
Yeah,
it's a slow process, and you have to let it cook.
Yeah,
simmer.
But you know how it is out here. I mean, you're around a lot of the people who are successful and got it, and they're around them, and it's just like, damn, I want that. I want to get it. They don't feel like that progression happening, or it's taking too long, or they see people who come after them and they're moving at a faster pace. And it's just like, you know what I mean?
Sometimes that can be traumatic. Sometimes when you don't have the right spirit about yourself and you try to live through someone else's successes, and that's always unsuccessful.
Well, I just think people are accidentally disrespectful, right? And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Again, all 3 of y'all are very successful comics, and you do things that are admirable. If I were to say to you, I want to be where you at, I don't realize I'm simultaneously saying that I have to walk the path you walked, which means I can't look at Tony Rock on a sitcom and be like, I want to be on a sitcom. Yeah. Awesome. You got to start 25 years ago and do the 2 years of bringer shows and eat chicken wings on a dirty subway. If I just think I can just show up and do a sitcom, I've just disrespected your journey.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's,
And comedy, yeah.
that's the gist. That is
That's
the
what-
majority of young up and coming comedy.
That's the
right
state
there.
of comedy at this point.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, how did you be? I've traveled to over 30 countries lecturing. I've done the psychotherapy equivalent of touring and doing comedy. Right? I've been all over the world. I've written 5 books. People ask me all the time, how did you do that? I spent 8 years seeing 11 clients a day, 6 days a week, nonstop.
Wow.
No holidays, no breaks, no nothing. And I loved it. Now, to the point you were making, like, successful people have a tendency to stay in the moment. And there's a cool, if you guys see The Last Dance, that Michael Jordan documentary?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
There's a cool snippet in there. There's several cool snippets. There's a cool snippet in there where the trainer with Michael Jordan, somebody asked him why he's so successful. He said, because Michael Jordan was never anywhere other than where he was. He never thought about yesterday, and he never thought about tomorrow. He was right there.
Wow.
And for me, I never thought about this current life that I'm living, like being on the Breakfast Club and, all the things I'm doing. I was just so excited. Because if you think about it, someone chose me to help them in their difficult moment. That's such a massive compliment to me. I was never anywhere but right there for 8 years.
Yes.
And then, so it was a conference, and someone said, you want to speak at this conference? I was like, sure. And then I realized I'm good on a stage. But I never thought about stages. I just wanted to be the best human I could be for the person I'm talking to. And people don't think about that. They just think, oh, Tony Rock's on a sitcom. I want to be on a sitcom. Awesome. You now have to go to the path that he got to the sitcom.
Right.
You don't just get to show up on the sitcom. You got to walk the same journey, and not like just like as a like paying dues punishment, but you learned things along that way
absolutely.
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
made you prepared for the sitcom
Absolutely.
moment. So if I just put you there, you were ill prepared.
Right.
You are not ready
Right.
to do the things that sitcom requires you to do, because there were certain valuable things you needed to get before you got here. And I think it's rude. I think it's disrespectful to be like, I'm just going to show up and be Tony Rock.
Yeah.
Because you're going to fuck it up. you
You gonna fuck it up,
You are going to make it very, very bad because you didn't
luck.
learn the lessons that you needed before you got here. And the journey is the point. It's actually
That's
not
the
about-
beauty.
It's
That's
not
the
about
beauty.
the end part. The journey
Yeah.
is the whole point. And if you try to skip the journey, you're missing the whole.
Yes.
I have to tell myself that often, like every now and again, maybe once a week. I'll be
No,
like,
I hear them in conversations with them in the green room. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
And they say stuff, and I just make a note of it. Like, that's not the way to look at it. But
like what? Give me an example.
When I say, what's your goal for 2023? I'm gonna book a sitcom. Bro, you don't book a sitcom. You just go into the audition as prepared as possible. And if you book it, but you have no control over booking it or not booking it. Right? You said that this year. I'm gonna be a regular on. Bro, that's not your decision. Because if it was, we would all just make the decision to be on TV.
Right.
So I'm like, you got to just go in that room that day as prepared as possible, beat the shit out of everybody else, so to speak, in your audition, and that's how you get on. It's not like I'm just gonna say it's gonna happen, because we would all do it if we could. I want to be back on TV badly. I'm just waiting for the right project to be ready to come across my lap, and I'm gonna be prepared as possible, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get it because I did the work. It's not just gonna happen. But I hear y'all say stuff, and I'm like,
Well, I say certain things to put it in that manifestation cloud. So just
I got to do that.
yeah. You go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah. But yeah, so if I say something like, yo, I want to book this, but I'm just like, I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. I write it down. And then, internally, I know what that entails. So, long as I'm just, like I said, going in there, because I'm like you, I go do an audition, I don't even think about it no more. And then I had sent you guys a clip with Kevin Costner, which gave me another perspective of an audition. It's like, hey, I just went to work. And, you know what I mean? When I auditioned.
That was Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah, he was like, yo, I just went to work, and that's
throw
it.
it up. I got
Yeah, just clocked in for a little bit.
He said the audition was the job.
The audition was the job. So yeah, so maybe I'm manifesting wrong.
There's
So
an adjustment I would make to
Yeah.
the way y'all manifest. I love to speak it into existence, and I actually think you can decide. I'm deciding I'm going to be a regular on the TV show. Just remove time. Like, don't have it like, I'm going to do that in 2024 or in 2026.
I'll put a time constraint on.
Yeah, because to Tony, like, that's not your decision. Like, you can't do that. But if you speak it into existence without the limitation of time, it becomes manifestable.
Okay.
But the moment it's like, I'm going to do this in 2024, you've now introduced anxiety to the process because now you're like, it's June and I haven't auditioned enough time. Yeah. But I'm going to be, like, I knew. You couldn't tell me any different. I knew I'm going to financially take care of my mother. I 100% knew it. Mm-hmm. I had no clue how it was going to happen. I had no clue when it was going to happen. But the moment I felt successful, I've made millions of dollars. I've been on all kinds of platforms, and I'm building my own platform and TV, all of it. The moment I was really successful, my mother called me one day, super stressed. She said, I'm at the shop, the auto shop, and I thought I had one flat tire, but 3 of the rims are broken. I need all new rims. I don't know what to do. I said, you there right now? She said, yeah. I said, can you put the mechanic on the phone? She said, yeah. I said, can I pay over the phone with a credit card? Dude said, yeah. I said, okay. Hand the phone back to my mother. Mother got back on the phone. I said, Mom, just have him put whatever he needs to do on the car whatsoever and call me when the bill's due and I'll give you the credit card. Hour later, my mother calls me. Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. And I'm talking like $800. Like,
Right.
I'm not talking about a bazillion.
Yeah.
It's 12.
She said, are you sure about this? I'm sure. I give her my credit card. She pays, calls me back, and she said, I feel guilty.
Wow.
I said, Mom, why you feel guilty? And, I think sometimes as parents, like, we don't want to make our children's lives harder. Mm-hmm. I said, Mom, you need to understand something. And I don't say this lightly, often, or out loud, but your son is a millionaire. I don't have the ability to buy you a yacht. I can't buy you a penthouse on Park Avenue, but almost anything else you can have. So if it ain't
You
on
can have
that
some
list,
rims, Mom.
3 rims is no problem.
if it ain't on that list, you get to live the rest of your life not worrying about money, ever. If you want to take a trip, call me, and I will book you a trip to the place you want to go. My mother calls me now. She's like, I got a friend who lives in Dayton, Ohio. I want to fly there. Now, my mother, I feel bad for the people. It's like a recent thing my mother said, I got a friend living whatever. And I said, okay, Mom, I'll book. And I'm a little bit mischievous, right? So I was like, I'm going to book my mother on a first-class flight. She ain't never done this before. I know for a fact, any human being next to her, she went, my son did that.
Yeah, my son. Yeah.
But I want her to truly know, like, you don't have to live another moment worrying about a bill or worrying about you broke your glasses or any of that stuff. Like, that stuff is over. I might not be able to get you the yacht, but the rest of the stuff, I can cover that.
Wait, we
And
got
that
to
to me
give
is
it up for that. We got to give it up.
Yeah,
we got to give it up for that.
It has nothing to do with your bank account. It has to do with your activities and your actions. And my mother doesn't have to worry about money in a reasonable way. And that's the point. And I made that decision when I was like 16. I had no clue how it was going to happen, but I knew for a fact I'm going to solve that woman's financial problems.
Man.
Without a shadow of doubt.
Dude, I knew when we decided to do the podcast, I started thinking about people I wanted to have on. You were on a very short list of I got to make a phone call because I got to talk to this guy. So I told them, and I told these guys, like, this right here is my therapy. I've never been to therapy, and I think I should go. My brothers are all like, yeah, just try it, just go talk to somebody. But I want to tell you about my breakthrough.
Yeah.
So if I can, as much as I can tell you without saying names and all that stuff. So one of my problems, and I don't know if it's just a me thing, or if it's a cancer thing, or if it's a I don't know. So my thing is, if I have an issue, right? If there's an issue with me and another person, I tend to hold on to that shit for a long time.
Okay.
And I just don't let that shit go. So I'm trying to give you as much information as I can without going too far. So I'm in New York. I got 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks in New York. I had a gig upstate New York and then another gig in Maryland. So I decided to just stay home in Brooklyn for the 2 weeks, drive up, do that gig, drive back to Brooklyn, drive down, do that gig, drive back to Brooklyn, fly back to LA. So I was in a lot of times when I'm on the road, like being in a hotel at night, when just by myself is my downtime to just really just let my mind go. Just think about the positivity, look at how far I've come.
Yeah.
Talk to my brother that's passed, talk to my parents, my father that passed, my grandparents. I like really zone out when I'm in the room by myself. And I have a family member that I had an issue with that was ongoing. No, ongoing is the wrong word because I mean it's still active. It wasn't active. It's just I didn't let it go.
Right.
For 30 years, I didn't let it go. And I didn't even realize it had been that long until that night I was in the hotel and I said, damn, that shit is damn near 30 years, like 28 years, like damn.
That's a long time.
And I'm sitting in the room by myself and I said, you have literally been waking up every morning, grabbing a bag of shit, throwing it over your shoulders, and walking into a new day with this bag of shit over your shoulders from the past.
Which is silly.
Which is silly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't been given every other day the chance to be perfect because I've been carrying this bag of shit with me into every new day.
Yep.
For 28 years, 29 years, I've been, getting dressed, walking to the new day with this bag of shit. Now, granted, I am Tony Rock. I have had amazing days, too many to even count.
Yes.
But I couldn't let that shit go to just have a perfect day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm laying in that bed that night, and I said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Tonight when you fall asleep, you're gonna wake up tomorrow, and that shit's not coming with you into the next day.
Love it.
Anymore. Every day you wake up is, the possibility for a perfect day is a reality because that shit is not coming with you no more. And then the first thing I did was call my brother Brian. Me and my brother Brian are very, incredibly close. And I called my brother Brian like, yo, B, I just had a breakthrough. And he's like, oh, I got to hear this. And I'm like, now he knows who the names of who's who. Yeah, man, I'm laying here thinking about this and this and this. And B, you know what I've been doing? I said, I've been waking up every morning. I use a different analogy. I said, B, I've been waking up every morning, taking a pair of Timbs, putting them on that I walk through horse shit with, and then walking into a new house. So I'm walking into a brand new house that has never been touched every morning with shitty Timbs on. And then I look back like, yo, look at all this shit in the house. You know what I'm saying? Because I tracked it through the door every morning. And my brother Brian said, I have been waiting for you to get here.
Love it.
Wow.
I have been waiting, but he said, but I know you Tone, and all my siblings know you can't talk to Tone any kind of way. You can't yell at Tone. You can't. You got to let Tone arrive when he wants to arrive. And that night I arrived there, and I called my brother, and he said, yo, I've been waiting for you to get here.
I love that.
And ever since then, I have been telling people, everybody I come in contact with that I think is in a similar situation, bro, let me talk to you. My cousin having an issue with a family member. Come in, man, let me talk to you. I told ex-girlfriends, hey, listen, all that shit I was upset about, I'm not even, listen, it was me. It wasn't even you. I just wouldn't let it go. Like, so everybody, dudes in Brooklyn I wanted to kill that I was like, I swore up and down, like, when I run into that nigga, he dead. Bruh, don't even worry about it.
I love it.
Because I've been holding on to that shit. And that motherfucker probably been living his life the whole time, not even worried about me. Right? Or chicks that broke my heart, they've been living their life, not even worried about me. But I've been picking that bag up every day. And I'm like, tomorrow, that shit stops. And it has stopped since then. And I think I've given myself a chance at a perfect day every day that I've woken up since that
I
day.
think it's totally true. I think, like in our world of psychotherapy, we always say, you gotta learn how to give forgiveness to people who didn't apologize.
Yep.
And when you can do that, then you can have a perfect day.
I said those same exact words to my brother Brian. I said, B, I've learned to accept an apology that I never received.
that you never received.
Yeah.
Yep.
And gift that person with forgiveness.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't apologize or even acknowledge they did something wrong.
Yes.
Because that's actually about me. Like, I want to have a perfect day. And I'm like I have moments, I literally can't believe the space my life is in. I'm not going to let you fuck it up. Just
Right.
you're not
Right.
going to
Right.
apologize. That ain't happening.
You know what? The underlying, springboard for all of this was when I had my son.
Yeah.
Because when Charleston was born, number one, when you have children?
No.
When you have a kid, you have a son. When you have a kid, it makes you look at every relationship you have in the world. Because that person might come in contact with the most precious thing in the world to you.
Yes.
So even now, like, Charleston's mother is like, oh, I saw your friend so-and-so. That's not my friend. Oh, I thought he was your friend. You guys went and played basketball that day. Yeah, that's not my friend. And I'm like, if you want to know if it's my friend, ask yourself this question. Would Tony let that person babysit Charleston? Would Tony leave Charleston in that person's care? If the answer is no, that's not my friend. Because Charleston's the most important thing in the world. And that's when the whole thing started of like, I always do. Like I said, when I'm in the hotels, I try to do my own therapy. Like
which I think
I got downtime. The parties are over. It's that night. It's no girl in the room. It's like, okay, what am I doing with myself? How can I be a better person? You know what I mean? And I just lay there and I zone out. And Charleston being born, and then that night was like, okay, this is going to be really good going forward.
I love that. I mean, but healing can happen in all kinds of ways. And absolutely, therapy or not, we have to learn how to spend time with ourselves.
Yeah.
We got to learn how to like quiet the world and spend time with ourselves. And most people don't realize it, but like, you know what to do. Like, you know the right thing to do. You just have to get in touch with it and make choices that lead towards change and lead towards healing, and that's a brilliant experience.
Yeah, I struggled with that at one point. One of my with being just knowing how to be comfortable being alone. That was one of my struggles. Like I always, like if I was by myself, I always felt like I had to call a chick or you know what I mean, or call somebody or just do something. I just didn't like to just be home or just be like, I always felt like I had to be out or just do something. You know what I mean?
And
just
most
to
people feel that way.
Yeah, just to get my. But then within like probably the last, I would say 5 to 6 years, you know, like I maybe even longer. I've been able to like I could do things. I could eat by myself. I could go to the movies by myself. I could just do a lot of things by myself. Like I'm very comfortable alone now. But it took some time to get there, man. You know, because the scariest thing is when you left alone with your thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, because your mind is, you know, your mind is the most powerful thing, and it will take you all different angles and different ways, you know.
Until you train it, though.
Until you train it.
Because if you lay down in your bed by yourself and you just think, I'm going to think of the like 100 good things that happened today, you'll find them. Because I guarantee you, what time is it? It's like 7:30, 8, whatever time. I guarantee you 100 good things have happened to every single person in this room. 100, 1,000, literally.
Yeah.
But we think of life as like, if I said, what'd you do today? Met a friend for breakfast, went out to lunch, and then went to work. You highlight 3 things. But if you break your life down, thousands of brilliant things happen to you every single day. Thousands of things happen that you should be grateful for.
Yeah.
And if you can just train your brain to just sit there and be like this moment happened, and then that moment happened, you're teaching your brain what kind of food you want it to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You're teaching your brain how to.
Man, you deep, man.
Trey,
Facts.
you kind of hit on it.
Wait, I want to say something. I have learned to eat by myself. That was the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Now you know what I do? I eat by myself, but I go to the nicest goddamn restaurant.
You already know we
I go sit in that motherfucker by myself and have a $75 steak.
Spend
They're like,
$200 spend $200 on
yourself.
Yeah, got there like, no, that was dope as hell.
But you have to.
I do it all the time now.
Literally have to treat yourself. Like last night, I've only been in LA for a couple of days this trip, and I went and met a friend for dinner. And when we left, she was like, "What are you about to do?" I'm like, "Go for a ride." "Where you going?" "Just for a ride. I just gonna be by myself." And I drove to Beverly Hills. She called me and she said, "That's just weird." It ain't weird. I never thought in my life I would be in Beverly Hills.
Right.
I'm driving through Beverly Hills,
Right.
even if it's just a drive through. And it's me spending time with myself, like rewarding myself. Like this, the life I currently live, I can afford to drive through Beverly Hills. I can afford to shop in Beverly Hills. I can afford to eat in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
My favorite restaurant is called The Terrace in Beverly Hills.
Never heard of it. No, that's like I
can't
never.
remember the hotel it's connected to, but connected
Yeah.
to one of them hotels down there.
I think the Hilton.
No,
That'd
not
be
the Hilton. I can't remember. There's that pink Beverly Hills sign, whatever. It's kind of most of it is outdoor. I go eat there as often as I can.
Yeah.
Because I never thought that this would be reality.
right.
And I spend a lot of my time just like soaking in moments. And sometimes they're big moments, like, you know, hanging out with Tony Rock and you guys. And other times it's like, I woke up today.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know for a fact some people wanted to wake up today and didn't.
Yeah.
I know,
like-
you have to train your brain how you want it to work.
Yep.
And when you do that for long enough, all of a sudden you just start thinking about positive shit all the time.
When I say my prayers every night, I'm not going to give you the whole speech, but the last thing I say is, and if you let me see the sun tomorrow, it's fucking on. Every night
All right,
I say
God.
a whole litany of things I say, and then the last thing I say is, and if you let me see the sun tomorrow, it's fucking over.
You praying to the Jesus that's
And I
dressed
wake
like
up.
him.
All right.
But look at how I wake up. I wake up like, yo, let's go.
Let's go.
Like we
Yeah.
got to see this day. Let's go. And then I say, what are we doing today? What are we doing today?
You know,
Correct.
Like I like that because it reminds me of celebrating your own victories, no matter how small. Like celebrating the small
Right,
victories,
right.
because I know sometimes, and that's a problem that I have. Is just like, oh, I did that, and not thinking it's a big deal because everybody else has done it or something. No matter what it is, I remember one time I got on. Like the first time I got on BET's Comic View.
Yeah, that wasn't shit. You wasn't right.
Yeah, but like now I look back on that, you know, yeah, but I did it. But you know, that's
Right,
about
right.
it. Like I don't feel the same now. But back then, I was like by myself watching myself on TV, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, well, on to the next. But that was like an accomplishment at the
Big,
time.
man. It's big. Yeah.
I have a homeboy that I call one of my best friends, Kenny, out of Jersey. I talk to him literally every day. Like he's just the one that I call it. We don't even got nothing to and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just talk. And me and him, we have that insight to where this, like at this point, because we remember when we were broke college students. It was so many things we couldn't do, or the things that we did do, we would finagle it, figure out how to do it without spending money, and couldn't do it to the level we want. So whenever we do anything, I'd be like, yo, fam, I like you said, I went to Austin a few days early. I'm like, man, I'm about to go eat. Go to a nice restaurant, with the $4 signs on Yelp, and just sit at the bar.
$4.
The $4 signs, the 2 and 4, and I'm going to sit at the bar, and literally like, as I'm doing it, I'm really taking it like, yo, like, no, this is fucking dope. Like, I don't gotta hey, how much is this? Like, I could be like, yo, let me get this wine. Let me get this steak, medium rare. The white people looking at me like, well, how are you? Like, hey, listen, I'm on my grown
How did they do it
shit.
again? How
You
did
know
they
what I
say?
mean? I go smoke me a cigar, but all the little things, like me and him would literally talk about those kind of things. Like, yeah, fam, I went ahead and did this, man. Spent, yesterday was my girl's birthday, right? And I was like, damn, she was out of town. I was like, all right, well, what I'm going to do? So I called the restaurant that she was going to, and I said, listen, I need you to send a bottle of champagne to her table. It's her birthday, whatever.
Nice.
And the guy with the manager was like, well, I will sit her at the table with the best view.
Nice.
And I said, bet. So she called me immediately after I solidified everything. She said, Chase, my mom, we're going to go to this restaurant. I said, God damn it.
Damn.
So I had to call another restaurant. I had to call Morton's, and I talked to the manager, and I did the same thing. I said, look, I need you to send this bottle of champagne. It's her birthday. Set her up nice. She's allergic to sugar. Boom, boom, boom. And he was like, I got you. And I paid for it over the phone, tipped him, and she called me on WhatsApp crying.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh my God, like I'm down because we're not together, but this right here just really made my day. And I was like, y'all remember when I couldn't spend $200 or something on a bottle of champagne? But I was just like, oh, so I take all that in like, hey man.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm
And then
about to copy that.
I love that. I love that.
Send it
And
on.
the next level is being grateful that you had the phone to make the call to set all that up. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about the moment; it's about the fraction,
It's about the fraction,
right?
bro.
Like, and so I'll give you something about you actually, because when I met you the same night.
Yeah,
after
right,
yeah.
Tony, and I started following you on social media. And I don't know, a month or two later, you went viral for a clip at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
These two dudes sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
And you were like, y'all friends? And they were like, nah, yeah. And I was like, man, look, Tony Trey doing it. And I don't know when I looked, but it had like 1.5 million views.
Yeah, it went crazy.
And I was thinking to myself, like, I hope he's enjoying this.
I did.
And the reason I say that is like, you're going to be a big movie star or not. You're going to be the biggest comedian in the world or not. But like, most people never experience that. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever, not ever, not ever. Most people never get to stand on the Laugh Factory stage ever. There are 10 million comedians in the world.
Right.
The one
More.
stage they want to stand on
Yes.
is that one.
Yeah.
And you
The
have
world famous Laugh
Went
Factory.
viral.
correct. If the next day you got to go wait tables at wherever, like I had that moment, and I remember if I had your number, I would have texted you like, right here. Like this.
I
this
wish,
is the
man,
one
you would've
carry
DM'd me.
with you. You know,
Yeah.
like, this is the thing, and that's why, like, when you were on Comic View, most people never ever get a camera pointed at them at all,
Right.
like ever.
Not for anything good. like they might be doing something
like,
else.
It's just not part of their ecosystem.
Right.
And even driving here, bro, like I remember when I first moved out here, I would drive through Beverly Hills. This is how I went. I would drive through Beverly Hills in my 1992 or 93 Buick with the doors wouldn't open. Then from that, I would drive through Beverly Hills and through Hollywood in my '03 Honda that I purchased in 2010. And then from there, I remember driving through Beverly Hills and through areas and stuff in my 2017 Infinity, and how good I felt. I was like, yo, I got this Infinity. It's 2017, it's 2020, but shit, right. I'm doing it. Now, coming here, I'm driving through Beverly Hills with a 2023 brand new Mercedes electric. And literally, every time I drive here and rushing to get here, I'm like, this is a good fucking ride. Lady cursed me out today because I was trying to hurry up and get here and I did some crazy shit. She cursed me out. I was like, yeah, but your ride ain't better than mine. But I literally take it all in and be like, damn, Trey, like, everybody. I remember like the steps, man. And it's all about progression. And I just really try to recognize that every day.
It not only is it about progression, but you went from like a broke down car to this badass Mercedes in a city that chews people up. So it's not about progression, but it's about progression in the jungle. You know what I mean? Like, you should just be grateful that you know, I ain't doing porn today. Right. Like, this city eats people alive.
Yeah.
And they end up on OnlyFans or doing and you did your craft. Like, comedy paid for that.
Yeah.
Mercedes. Like, your craft paid for that. And at some point, not only is it about being grateful, but it's also about recognizing, like, I might not be great at everything, but I'm a fucking hero because I just did a thing that most people cannot do. I know a ton of people move to LA because I'm going to be famous, and a year later, they're doing bad things.
You know what? That's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because they know this. Whenever somebody after the show says, hey, man, I could never do that. You guys are great. I could never do that. I always say, thank you.
Yes.
Because that means you're acknowledging that I can do a thing that you know in your heart of hearts that you cannot.
Correct.
And that's why you pay money to come see me do it.
Correct.
Because you know you can't do it.
Correct. And y'all have to know, like, I can do a thing that
I knew.
very small percentage of
I knew from very years, very young, I knew I can do this thing though. They know. We told our stories. We told our origin stories a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the hood. I'll give you the details. I grew up in the wildest neighborhood in America when I was growing up there.
Yeah.
People shot dead, robbed, crackheads, all that stuff. When I was in school, we would get out for lunch, kids get robbed, their sneakers, jackets, everything, and they would go, yo, rock's good. That motherfucker funny as shit. Like, they would literally give me safe passes. Like, yo, he's in my class and he's making me laugh all day, so he good. And I knew two things. I knew funny was important because girls liked me too. They was like, oh, Tony's so funny.
Yeah.
So I knew funny was like currency.
Yeah.
And I played every sport. So they was like, yo, rock a ball, you can ball.
Yeah.
So those two things was always like, yo, if you could do these two things, in the hood especially, you pretty much good.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you were talking, or I think it was you who said, someone said healing can come from a number of different places.
Yeah, healing.
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't it funny how sometimes we take it for granted, at least I do, I'll admit, sometimes we take it for granted we get to do this thing.
Facts.
And when it gets bad, not bad, but like, it's hard today. Like, I really had to work for it today. And it just feels like sometimes I'm a freaking fraud, man. I just doing my job. Sometimes I try not to dial it in, but I be feeling it sometimes. We carry that shit on stage. And that one person after the show that were touched by what you said, and it's like, yo, man, I actually helped somebody with this. Like you did when you, at the end, I think you posted it, but when you were talking about a loss and everything and the insurance thing, and people felt that because they were going through that in the holiday season.
I've had several people come to me and say, hey, man, because I just lost my sister in July.
Yeah,
so one of my ways of dealing with the grief, I have to talk about it. So I've been on stage talking about it, and it's getting there. But a lot of times, damn near after every show when I talk about that, somebody will come to me and be like, "Hey, I just lost my mom or my aunt, man, and what you were saying, it just really helped the whole table. Like we were just all so like, man, I just want to say thank you." And I was, and that's what I do it for, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And like y'all cannot ever take the fact that you get to stand behind a microphone for granted ever again in life.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a hard night or not. Like I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, giving a lecture. It was probably about 50 therapists in the room, and that's what I teach therapists how to do the type of therapy that I do. And somebody had brought me to go to Shreveport, Louisiana to teach all day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the company that hired me wanted to record me. So there's a cameraman sitting behind the camera recording me, and I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. The end of the day comes, I'm packing up my stuff. That cameraman comes to me, bawling in tears.
Wow.
Now, the way I do therapy, I'll spare you all the details, but the way I do therapy is I ask questions and make people think in a different way. And like an hour with me is you're going to be answering just a bunch of questions that are very specifically designed to change your life. So I'm teaching the audience how to ask these questions. So as a consequence, I'm saying the question. This cameraman comes to me bawling, and he says, "I answered every question you asked. I called my wife, and I just told her I know how to fix our relationship."
Whew.
Damn.
Just like that. And I remember thinking, like, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
People are going to love what I teach or they're not, but someone's going to be touched by it. Like, even if it's not like a poignant thing about how to deal with a loss, but like, y'all make people laugh. There were times in my childhood I was really suicidal.
Damn.
And I went to watch a stand-up comic. And I remember laughing for 2 hours and just remembering that I could do that. I remember like, oh, I can laugh.
Yeah.
And for that moment, I'm not thinking, I promise y'all, all three of y'all, I promise you, there are people who go watch you guys perform because they want to have a good time. I promise you that's true. I promise you there are people that are like, this date night, let's go have a drink and watch Trey, Tony, and Joe do their thing. I promise you they do that. I also promise you there are people who are near death.
Oh, yeah.
The stress is so high in their life, they cannot continue, and they need a break, and they go to the fucking Laugh Factory to watch you guys do what God gifted you to do.
I've seen that too many
Never
times.
forget
I've seen that too many times to not believe that 100%.
1,000%.
Lady in the audience in Kansas City one time, scarf on her head. I'm making fun of her, calling her a pirate the whole night.
Oh yeah.
End of the show, she comes over, tears. I just survived cancer. I've been going back and forth battling cancer. I came out the house just to be a regular person. And you made me feel like I was just one of the people in the room. Like I was and she was in, like, thank you so much.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
your gift is not about your movie deals or your TV shows.
Right.
Or
Right.
This right here.
Right.
Right.
It's about that. It's about that moment you had that went viral, or it's about that one with the scarf. It's about you got on comic. Do you know every comic in that generation wanted to do that? Like my team, we were working on our TV show. They called me one day like, "Hey, we don't want you to get excited, but this network just reached out to us. They heard about what you do. Everybody's talking. All these people, all these celebrities know who you are, and this network just reached out to us and they want to have a meeting." I went nuts, and they were like, "Calm down." What do you mean, calm down?
Yeah.
No one gets a phone call like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
There-
yeah.
Nothing has happened. We ain't signed
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, "Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. You just need to be warned. I'm gonna do this every single time.
Damn, man.
There's a moment because even if y'all take it away right now, I'm closer to a television show than any human being on earth, basically, right? Because the percentage of people who get to do these things is so small. It's literally no one. So if you call me and you're like, "Yeah, this network reached out," I'm about to lose my shit. And
you
I'm going
just
to
helped
do it
me.
tomorrow, and I'm going to do it the next day,
Damn.
and I'm going to do it the next day. And if y'all take it away, we ain't going to make a TV show anymore. You know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be that nigga in the hood on the corner, be like, "Man, I used to be on. I used to be that nigga." Because no one gets to do this.
Can I please tell you a story? So when I started out doing comedy in New York City, Comic Strip, 82nd and 2nd was my home club. I remember vividly the day I looked on the lineup and saw that I had been booked on a 10 o'clock show on a Saturday night. Friday, Saturday, they have 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 8
Yeah.
o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 10 o'clock is prime time. It might as well be Johnny Carson. You know what I'm saying? Because it's prime time. And I look on the calendar, the sheet, they put it up every week. And I'm like, okay, I got a Monday at 11:45. I got a Wednesday at midnight. I got a Thursday at 10:20. Holy shit, I'm on the 10 o'clock show Friday night. Holy shit, I'm on the 10 o'clock show Saturday night. And I'm jumping up and down in the lobby of the comedy club. And patrons are just like, what's going on? Because they don't get it. But the comics are like, okay, yeah. I know why he's doing it.
Got a 10 o'clock spot.
And Greg Giraldo, may he rest in peace. Greg Giraldo is an icon in stand-up comedy. And he's sitting in the booth having a drink. Older guy, he's the OG, been around the world a million times. Hey, come here. I sit in the booth with Greg Giraldo and he goes, I remember many, many, many years ago when I first got on the 10 o'clock show. I know what it means to you. Do me a favor. Never lose that.
Fact.
Never lose that.
Ever.
And to this day, they don't know it. To this day, my agent will send me an email with like 20 dates. Hey, you got this date, this date, this date. Cleveland, this date. In March, you're going here. And January, you're going here. In February, and I'm like, oh shit, we just got 10 offers. Regardless of the money, 10 offers in one email. And I'm in the house like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I'll hit them like, yo, we got dates. But I'm in the house like, yo, I just got offered 10 cities to perform in one email.
Yes.
And that shit comes 5, 6, 7 times a year.
Right.
But I'll just tell them like, hey, yo, we got some dates. Y'all want to run through these, who want to do what.
And if you
People
just
just jumping
But
for
when I get the
Toyota.
email, trust and believe, 2024, I started in 1998. I'm still like, yo, what the fuck? I got 15 dates.
Yo.
and if you paying it on us, you see me at the house.
And I'm like, yo, never fucking lose
Ever.
that. He said never.
Ever.
I was like, yo, dude, you don't have to worry about me losing that shit. Because this is always going to be
100%.
the most incredible thing. This right here is a creation because it's an extension of the tour.
Correct.
So even this to say like, yo, I got to take the podcast today. Like we didn't shoot last week. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we shooting podcast today. Eli's on. Elliot's on. Bet, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And the funny thing, it's funny you say that. Like, and I do this to this very day. When I get a text message or an email, I screenshot my phone. I'll be like, I'm just screenshotting who sent me the text message or email or phone call because like I never want to forget what this moment.
I do that when people leave the show and they're like, hey man, just left your show. Fucking awesome. Screenshot, post it on social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just learned how to do that.
That's what it's not about the movie deals. It ain't about the
Yeah.
money. It's about the moments. And you guys are professional creators of moments.
Yeah.
That's what you do for a living. You create moments.
Okay, we glossed over something and I just want to go back. You said you grew up your childhood very suicidal.
Very suicidal.
Can we go back to the beginning? We don't know your story. Like,
Yeah.
Can we?
Whew.
How you get to? Why do you do what you do? How does it all start? Like, as much as you want to tell us.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all everything. I've written it in books and said it in other places. So I grew up, born in Chicago. My father is an angry person.
Okay.
And he has trauma that created it, but he's an angry person. And he genuinely did not know how to love his wife and his 3 kids. I'm the middle of 3.
Oh wow.
And he would just beat me mercilessly. And I can remember the moment I decided I don't want to be here no more. And the best way I can describe it is like, if this is life, I don't want it.
Right.
Now, I was an athlete. I was really good at baseball, football, and basketball, baseball primarily. And I heard a rumor when I was in like middle school that colleges have dorm rooms. I was like, what's a dorm room? I've never heard of that. Oh, that's like a room that you live in when you go to college. And all I heard was, my dad ain't there.
Right.
I just heard like, oh, that's a parentless.
Right.
So that became my like obsession. When I was working out and going hard and dominating on the athletic fields, it was all about getting a dorm room.
dorm room, yeah.
It wasn't about championship. I needed a dorm room. I graduated from high school at 17. High school was absolutely awful at home, but like great. Like girls liked me and I was popular and good at sports and all these things, but I just needed to get out. And then I went away to college. My father bought me a beeper back in the day, like, you know, beeper.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to UMass
Okay.
at first. My father bought me a beeper and he would page me every day. And I would call him back and he would just annihilate me. Like, I'm talking like, you ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. I'm talking like, you cannot have confidence in this world with this.
Was he afraid? Do you believe he was afraid that you were doing something he didn't, or you was like,
No, he went to college. I think he was afraid, and I'll tell you for a second what it was about. I think he was afraid of abandonment, actually. I think he needed to be needed. Like, I think he needed me to say, thank you for being the best dad in the world, even though you weren't, that kind of shit. And I remember one day I was out somewhere on the campus, my beeper was going off, and I couldn't do it anymore. And there's no cell phones at this time, so you gotta find a phone.
And we know that. You said beeper. We know that.
So I can't do it.
He's younger than us.
I don't have it in me.
Right.
I can't do this today. So I ignored the beeper. I was out on campus doing whatever, and I walked back to my campus, and my father was waiting there.
Ooh.
And I realized in that moment, I can't escape this. There really is no out. If this is life, I can't do it. I'm wanting out. Everybody else seems to have a great life, and I got to deal with this. And I'm just trying to breathe. I'm really, literally just trying to breathe. And then my mother had a medical emergency, and we decide we got to get her out of Massachusetts. That's how actually we got to Texas. I had an aunt living in Texas. My mother and that aunt are very close, still very close. So we move with her. And I'm going to die. I know it. It's not even a doubt. And I transferred schools, and I remember laying in my dorm room, and I knew exactly how I was going to take my life. It wasn't, I want to be very clear, I wasn't thinking about it. I had decided to go. I knew, if you come with me to Franklin, Massachusetts, which is where I lived with my mother, when I was living with my mother in Franklin, Massachusetts, there's this corner store that, we didn't have any money, so, going out for fast food was a treat.
Right.
And there was this sign that said, "Coming soon, Taco Bell." And I remember seeing that sign, being I'm not going to live to see that Taco Bell being finished. If you come with me to this day, now that Taco Bell is gone, there's a Chipotle there. I get something to eat at that place every single time I go, because I remember knowing I'm not going to live to see this completed.
and if you ate the Taco Bell, you probably wouldn't live. Just a little humor. Lighten up the mood, everybody. Getting a little deep here.
But the reason I'm still here, and why I enjoyed what you were saying about being by yourself, I remember I'm now in Texas, and now it's actually worse, because at least in Massachusetts, I had friends to distract me.
Right.
So now I'm in Texas. I don't know anybody. And I'm laying in my dorm room knowing that, this weekend, I ain't going to be here. And for whatever, I tell people all the time, God put this thought in my heart. Just like you had that moment, I was laying in my dorm room and I thought, what would my eulogy be like? And I thought about everybody being like, man, I didn't know Elliot was bothered by this. I didn't know Elliot was so depressed. I didn't know Elliot. And I was laying in my bed getting pissed. I was like, I don't want them blaming me for this. I want them to say, I didn't know his father was such a torment to him. Blame him. He did this. It wasn't me. I'm laying here in a puddle of depression every night. He put that on me. And I want y'all to blame him. And I remember thinking, if that's going to be known, I have to outlive this pain so I can tell that truth.
Wow.
So in that moment, I decided I'm going to figure out the day after this pain. That's what I was saying about, don't put time. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I have to outlive this pain so I can tell this truth. Now, at the time, I was a marine biology major. And I thought, I need to figure out psychology. So I went to my guidance counselor, a woman named Dr. Marilyn Pugh. I'm friends with her and love her to this day. She's had a health issue. Shout out to Marilyn Pugh. I love you. And I told her, I don't want to major in that anymore. I want to major in psychology. She said, okay. Fill out the paperwork. We did the thing. And I started taking psychology classes. And one day, Dr. Pugh called me, and she called me after class, and she said, you'd be a really good psychotherapist. I said, what's a psychotherapist? And she told me it's like a counselor, mental health things. And I was like, whatever. She's like, no, you for real. You have this gift. You'd be able to do this. And that moment is when the pain left. Because then I realized, God gave me pain so that I could create healing. Because I can't do it without pain. If I have a life of privilege, I can't help people.
Right.
I was given this struggle, so I know what struggle was. And I remember in that moment realizing the moment your pain has a purpose, it doesn't hurt anymore. It's now like your journey. And I was like, Kind of like you wake up every day. I was like, it's on. Like, I don't know
on.
I was 19 when this happened. I don't know where I'm going, but it's going to be fire. Like, this is on. My GPA went up. I got into graduate school and literally viewed nothing as impossible because I really believe, like, this journey is touched by God. So the day I graduated, I was like, I'm going to write a book because I need to tell people that your mental health is important and you can get through it with just hope. So I wrote my first book. Everybody was like, you can't write a book. You just graduated last year. I was like, you can't write a book. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm choosing to write a book. And they were like, man, everybody going to tell you no. The third publisher I contacted was like, yeah, we'll publish your book. I've now written 5. And every single one, the message in there is like, if you can find hope in your story, if you can find purpose in your pain, your life will be... Your life will be amazing. And and people don't realize, but I'm telling you, every single one of y'all in this room was gifted with the ability to make people laugh. Please do not misunderstand that as the ability to make people laugh. There's something about that is like, most people can't do that. But somebody put something on you. Yeah. And for me, like, I'm gonna live the rest of my life knowing, like, it's gonna make me rich or it's not. It's gonna make me famous or it's not. It's gonna make me have a big house or it's not. But this is mine. Like, I own this. My father can't take it away. Like, nobody can take this away. I know how to create healing through language better than most. And that's my thing. Like, I know how to do that. And once I realized that, like, I'm good. My father could walk in this room right now and beat the hell out of me. And I'll be like, I can't wait to see what God's going to do with this. Because I don't need to, like, stop you. Because it's part of the process. If you stopped me from struggling when I was 12, you took away the gift God was trying to give me. And I had to go through that to get to where I'm at, to talk to Tiffany about what she was like. I had to understand what pain is like so that I could not be shaken by it.
Would you want us to get your father off you if he came in here and started beating you? Would you want us to help you?
I was about to say.
Like, you wanted this a while.
Like,
I swear, I was about to say, you still think your father could beat your ass?
To be real, he's almost 70. I might get licked in.
Take him down. Because I don't know if I need to kick. Or just be like,
we gonna get him off you, brother. We ain't gonna just let that happen.
If he gonna whip my ass, I'm not gonna get him off you.
To be real, he's almost 70. I'll be good.
But I promise you, man, like over the last, for me, it was Thanksgiving. I went to go see my mom for Thanksgiving, and
this past Thanksgiving,
and it was like the first Thanksgiving without Kim, my sister, and my first time going to my mom's. She lives in Macon, Georgia now, from Jersey, but that's where she resides now. And I walked in my mom's house. She had the 2 big pictures of my sister, and I was like, that Wednesday, I was done. I went in the bathroom. I was like, I don't want mom to see me crying because I got to be strong for her. I'm in the bathroom bawling. I was like, Mom, I'm going to go to the liquor store real quick, get me some drink. I'm crying there because I'm like, I don't got nobody to drink with. Usually Kim would be there, like, all right. And so Thursday, Thanksgiving was good, like good Thanksgiving. And then the next day we had Hartford. And when I was flying to Hartford, something clicked in my mind and I said, yo, I got to use this for a purpose on stage. And that's when I really started talking about it, like for real, with a purpose. Like, I have to change some people's lives, or I have to connect what I'm doing. Because I got this big bit about life insurance. I'm like, I got to tie all this up just to connect with somebody to try to change some lives. And I promise you, when I made that choice, like, I felt like even this past weekend, I mean, when we were New Year's Eve, when I was doing the bit, and even in in Virginia Beach when I was doing it, I just started seeing my purpose like more clear. Absolutely. Like, yo, like I'm getting why I've been through like these deaths and things, you know what I mean? And there's 3 people. I was like, yo, God is like trying to get me to teach my audience or just show something, and it's helping me 100%. Tremendously.
100%. So throughout our time talking, I keep saying, like, successful people tend to do ... One of them is they know their purpose, and it's unshakable. My personal hero, the person I wish I could have met, was Nelson Mandela. Like, that dude knew exactly what he was doing and why. They literally threw him in prison for 20 years. Now, people like to say he came out of prison with forgiveness. No, he didn't. He came out of prison with a purpose. And his purpose was to reunite South Africa. That was never not on his mind, ever. And as a consequence of that, you can create and accomplish miraculous things. Just most people don't spend their life thinking about their purpose. They think about money. People see your car and they just get jealous. I want a car like that. Well, you have to find your purpose, and it'll give you the rewards that it gave Trey.
Yeah.
Like, if you follow Trey's purpose, you're going to be driving a Hoopty forever because that wasn't your purpose. Trey graduated from Hoopty to Mercedes because he was walking in his gift. Like, you have to just figure out what your gift is. Like, I wish I was as funny as you. You literally... I'm trying to think if I have a favorite comedian above you. But you are one of my favorite, if not
Thank
my
you
favorite
very much.
comedian. And I literally mean that. I'm not just saying that because I know you would have. I legit mean that. I wish I was as funny as you. But that ain't my purpose. My purpose is not to be the comedian that you are. My purpose is about healing. And sometimes that's stupid and it's boring and it's nerdy and it's whatever. Like, you look way cooler than I do doing your job. I don't look as cool doing my job. But this is my purpose, and I accept it. I knew God asked me to do this. I said, "All right, Captain." I ain't never thought about nothing else.
I think everybody. I don't think God made any human being as a waste. I don't think any human being was made
Ever.
as a like. Oh, we just got some parts left. Let's build this nigga.
Ever.
I don't think anybody was made like that. I truly don't believe anybody was made like that. I think every human being was made. I think the conveyor belt. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not serious.
It was some scraps that Satan was like, all right,
I think the conveyor belt was like this. It comes down to the end, and God puts a gift, a purpose, a special thing in everybody, and you have to find what it is.
And
That's your job. Like, I'm gonna put this. It might be in your pinky toe, but you got to find this shit. And if you find it and nurture it, that's your gift.
Nigga, what was Jeffrey Dahmer's gift?
I don't mean white people.
except the white ones watching this podcast.
No, he ain't niggas, man. What you talking about?
I ain't talking about white
Jeffrey's
people.
gift was his palate. Niggas were delicious.
No, I agree with you.
Cheers.
I agree with you. I don't think there's anybody purposeless. I think you have to find your gift and accept it. And I think you have the Jeffrey Dahmers and the... I mean, that's obviously an extreme example, and fuck you for bringing it up. I'm trying to make the point.
I knew how to make people feel comfortable.
But I think those are people... I guarantee you God did not create him to be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, whatever that gift is, he either never found it or never accepted it and then did something off of the grid of what God asked him to do. And there's lots of people like that. They don't go to that extreme.
Yeah.
But I know people that like, bro, why are you in this field? You need to be doing something else. It is very clear. And you can tell some people say, I have to go to work. If you are walking your purpose, you use the word get instead of have to. You say, like, I get to go.
Oh, that's dope.
I get to go to work.
Right.
What I say, Fox?
Yeah.
I get to go to work.
Right. You know someone is in that space when they show up early and they stay late and they don't resent it. Right? That's how you know. Like, you were in that space.
Tony Rock like every other nigga on the Friday. He don't like this.
I would do this. What I say, I would do this if it was no money in it.
Yeah.
But I won't tell them that. Right? My father always said, find a job you love and you won't work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
And he also said, find something that you love so much that you would do it for free and then get paid a lot of money to do it.
That's absolutely true. Run DMC used to say, like, if I worked at the post office, I'd have a book of rhymes in my back pocket because that's who they were.
When I worked at AIG, we all talked, like I said, 2 weeks ago, we did our origin stories. I worked at AIG, I worked in insurance, data processing department, third largest insurance company in the world. They would always tell us that every day. And I would sit in my cubicle and premises, punchlines, jokes, things I thought was funny, things I saw was funny. I filled 2 composition notebooks of just ideas, not bits, just ideas, threw them under my bed like, I don't know what. And then when I decided to do comedy one day, just pulled them out like, holy shit, I got 2 books of jokes.
Yeah, like that is life, is whatever that calling is. But we live in a world where like, maybe you're supposed to be a chef. So stop paying attention to the viral video you saw of Trey. Like, that's him doing him. You're supposed to be a chef.
But don't you think
you're
that's
supposed to be a whatever?
But don't you think a small part of a part of that, I don't know if it's small or huge, is your parents were taught by their parents traditional route. School, degree, get a job.
Absolutely. That's why I'm
so
so
they try to
fascinated.
talk you off of that, taking a chance on your purpose.
Oh, absolutely. We don't talk you out. We train you out of it. Like,
Right.
Like, we live in a world, like, LeBron James did not need high school or college.
No.
Like, college is to prepare you for a job.
Right.
I remember reading an article. That dude was a sophomore in high school, and an NBA scout said he could start as point guard for half of the NBA teams right now as a sophomore in high school. He don't need college.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is this weird fictitious thing we made up in our mind that everybody needs to go to college. That ain't true.
Right.
That's why I'm so fascinated by people like you guys, because you guys all went like, I'm going to take this craft, I'm going to hone it and make a living doing it.
That's funny.
Most of the world doesn't do that.
That's funny. When we're on the road, like we'll meet a young lady or a group of girls, and they'll say, "Hey, what school did you like?" Some girls like Fox knows. They'll say, "We went to college with Fox." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I went to OU with Fox." Okay, and the girl will say, "What school did you go to?" And I go, "I went straight to the league, baby. I went straight to the league." Right? I went straight to the league.
Went straight to the league.
But I think we need to remember we should teach the youth to pursue their dreams. And if all that fails, then get a job. Like graduate from high school, because I think that's important. But like spend 4 years trying to be really good at comedy or acting or dancing or singing or chefing, or spend years trying to do that. Mm-hmm. And if you ain't nowhere further by the time you're like 24, then go to college. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't make any difference.
You know, a guy told me one time, and I was, while I was still in my cubicle, still in it, and hey, what are your dreams and stuff like that. And I told him, hey, I want to be a stand-up comedian. And by then I had like just started, but he was the only other guy that I kind of told. And he said, you know what, definitely, he encouraged me.
Yeah,
he was actually my boss. He said, man, I encourage you to seek out your dreams, because
100%.
if you don't, you're gonna end up working for someone who chases out theirs.
Yeah.
But even worse, you'll end up normal.
Right.
Just go be great. Like, go be great. Like, I don't want to be normal or average.
You know, it's amazing when you quit your job and you moved on to a place where you got the flexibility of doing what your dream. That's the main thing. I don't care. Like, oh, you didn't quit your job yet? Yeah, but you had the flexibility of doing things. That's a gift. Right. But when your people that you used to work with see you doing your thing, because they're like, oh, you just quit, or they didn't ever believe in you, right, or they just happened to be at the comedy club that night.
Well, like, it's not their fault they didn't believe with it.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
They didn't believe.
It's not their fault. But that when you see that amazement in their eyes, and they're like, wow, you freaking do it, and you have no idea what they should have been doing.
Correct.
But they're too, I don't know, fearful, didn't have the courage to take a chance on themselves.
It is important, man. Like, even with being a parent, and I always, I got to brag. Like, my son is my biggest, my biggest accomplishment. Like, he's the number one thing. I'm so proud of what he has accomplished, and even through his times, him watching me. Because I remember one time he was like, "Dad, like, you went out and pursued what you wanted to do. I saw you go out to follow your dreams, and that's what made me want to do what I wanted to do." And so even with, like, me talking to him every day, and like I said, today I'm chilling and he sends me his acceptance letter for grad school, and to get his working on his master's. I said, congrats, man. And he had a game plan. He said, so, I got my bachelor's, boom, but he wants to be a sports agent essentially, but he double majored. And he said, well, I got to get my master's if I want to represent NFL players. I can do NBA now, but I need my master's so I can, so I can be able to do NFL. He said, but I'm going to get my master's in information systems because I know I will be able to make good money in order to finance what I need to do as an agent. And I was just like, man, just the fact that you was able to articulate that and figure that out, that shit just made me fucking proud, man. Yeah. I was just like, yo, that's what it's all about, man. Just have a plan and stick with it. And I got your back, man. You know what I mean? And it's important, man. Like, as we out here following our dreams and doing what we doing, Charleston is looking at you. My son is looking at us. Like, people are watching and we are inspiring people without even realizing it.
Absolutely.
Every single day.
Nobody's looking at me. I ain't got a little nobody.
Joe, your ex-wife is looking at you.
I told you before, and I will tell you again, I am so impressed with your child.
Yeah, I appreciate
that was
it.
some cool shit. He they came with an entourage, and they was like partying with us. I mean, but they had their
Vegas.
own little clique, and they had that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. He was like 23.
That was his college graduation.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Power
how
party.
old was he though?
23.
Okay, yeah, he turned 23, had his own freaking clique, chicks.
Yeah.
Wait, so how'd you come in contact with, if you don't mind me asking, how'd you come in contact with Tiffany? How did that happen? You guys started working together.
Man.
Are you working? Is that work?
Yeah,
working
we're
together?
working together. Tiffany,
Shout out Tiffany Haddish, by the way.
yeah, that's
What up,
That's
Tiff?
a homie.
a crazy situation. So, being my role as a therapy leader, back in like 2016, one day I'm sitting in my office, and I was like, I wonder what people, the type of therapy I do, I wonder if they search for it on YouTube, what they'll find. So I did a search for it, and I found bullshit. I was like, this is ridiculous.
What are they searching? What are they searching?
Solution-focused brief therapy is
Solution focused
brief
Brief
therapy,
therapy.
is what I do. So I searched for solution-focused brief therapy on YouTube.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Brief, like short?
Brief like short.
Okay.
Like, if I talk to you one time, it is very likely to create a transformation in your life.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
So, and there's research, but I'm not just making this shit up. Like,
Right.
research.
Nah, I believe you at this point. I believe you.
Yeah. So, and I was like, I wonder when people search this term, what do they find? And I found bullshit. So I called one of my colleagues. This guy's like a mentor. His name is Bill, and I was like, Bill, this is crazy. Like, people doing this suck. Like, I don't know how. Like, this is terrible. And he said, then you should do something about it. So I started making a 5-minute video every week, which I still do.
Wow.
Every week. I started making a 5-minute video every week. No matter where I was in the world, every week I make a 5
Oh,
minute.
on Instagram, the lectures you
Yeah,
get?
yeah.
On YouTube.
Okay, I watched those.
Yeah.
You got a lot of videos,
Yeah.
bro.
Started making one every week. And then one day, I was sitting in my office, and I got the craziest email I ever got. My assistant, every single day, at the end of my day, my assistant gives me a report of, like, I did this today, this today, this today, and here's some things I don't know what to do with. This particular day, she said, you got an email. I don't know what to do with it. And it said, you should have a television show. Would you like to meet? And I said, delete that. That's spam. I don't want to talk to that person. And she said, okay. So the next day.
That's how bad spam is. That shit you should throw away is called spam. Just for all the pork eaters out there. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so it's like, that
What
is.
can we call this shit you don't need to read or address?
Spam.
Spam.
Vienna sausages? Nah.
how bad was
Vienna sausage, nigga, don't ever say that to Vienna sausage. Vienna sausage got me through 6th grade.
How bad was that spam Gmail? Just like that
Okay,
can't be
continue.
spam.
Yeah. So I told her to delete that shit. So next day, I look at my calendar, and I've got a meeting on it. I call my assistant. What's that? That's the person from the email yesterday. And I'm irritated. I told you to delete this. I do not want to talk to this weird person that's going to be asking me for money, whatever. She said, she always calls me sir. She said, sir, I don't think it's spam. I don't think it's a scam. I think it's a real person. I said, how come? She said, because the Gmail is like person's name, first name dot last name at gmail.com. And the spam emails usually aren't that.
Right.
So would you have the meeting? Sure, I'll have the meeting. I go on Zoom, and there's this woman staring at me. And she's clearly nervous. And I'm like, and she said, look, I just need you to know, I discovered Don Cheadle, Tiffany Haddish, Pamela Anderson, and I think I discovered you.
Wow.
So if you would allow me to, I want to talk to you about what this could look like. And if you're willing to come to LA, I'll introduce you to people.
Don Cheadle, Tiffany Haddish, who else?
Kate
Pamela.
McKinnon.
And Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she still look good for her.
You
White
saw that
lady.
Netflix special.
I saw that Netflix shit. I was like, Pam can still get it. Sorry.
Straight.
I haven't seen it, so I gotta see it.
Yeah.
I'll give you my discussion. But
The person I'm talking about was in the Netflix special. I'll tell your name in a
Okay.
after when, I don't want to say it, but I'll tell
Okay,
you
yeah,
your name
okay,
later.
I got it.
So to make a long story short,
Yes.
about 2 months later, I had a production deal. I was like, man, this is crazy. And that story was funny. We went to this restaurant that's like in the Hollywood Hills, like outdoor, like the best view I've ever seen in my life.
Yamashiro?
No, I can't remember the name of it now. I didn't think about it. But it's like you literally have to like wind up the mountain to go to
Wow,
the restaurant.
wow, nice.
And I'm standing there with this woman who's now my manager, and I was like, and she
The
said,
woman from the emails you managed
Yeah.
now. Wow.
she said, I think they're gonna offer you a deal. I said, why? They don't bring you to restaurants like this to say no. And sure enough, the president of the production company was there. A couple of producers were at the dinner, at the lunch. and they just talking at the table, and I'm sitting there just like, they don't even worry about me. They're talking amongst each other about other things. And then the president turns to me and she says, so we're going to offer you a deal. And then all I heard was, womp, 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 womp. I didn't hear shit else.
Right.
And my eyes glazed over, and she said, did you hear me? And I said, no, ma'am. And she grabbed my hands. She said, you're going to have a TV show. And I was like, shit, I called my mom and going crazy. So we start making sizzle reels, meeting people, doing all the things. And then one day, I'm at home taking a nap, and I wake up, and this woman has called and texted me 10,000 times. Can you get here tomorrow? And I was like,
LA.
Yeah, LA. I'm in Texas. I said, yeah, I think so. I bumped into Tiffany Haddish. She asked me what I'm up to. I told her I'm working with a psychotherapist who does these things. And she wants to meet you. But you got to come now.
Right.
Bet. So I go to the airport, book a flight, come to LA, and I meet Tiffany. And every now and then, you meet people that you just click with.
I know this very well.
And Tiffany was that person. Like, we just clicked. And it's just been on ever since. Then she signed on to be a co-producer of my show.
Nice.
And then she went through a massive scandal. I remember I was out on the road somewhere, and it was like 2 a.m. She was like, you awake? I was like, yeah. Can I talk to you about something? And she told me this whole scandal thing that I'm not going to get into here.
Of course not.
But now she's co-produced my show. We had a meeting this morning.
Yeah, see, so when I met you, that was after the scandal,
Yeah.
and she was saying how you had just helped her so much, and you were so influential in her growth and her points of views. So I thought she brought you on for something, like that scandal was like, I got to reach out to this guy. So it's nice to know the actual story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have like this idea in my head.
That's the actual story. It's the actual story.
Wait, please tell us more about the show. Is it like what's up with the show?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay.
No, so the show, it's what we want to do is show people what psychotherapy can look like, and what not even psychotherapy, I shouldn't even use that word, but like what healing can look like, and how you can help people through conversation. Like, I want to make a show that people would watch and be inspired. I want to make a show that people would watch and be like, from what I just saw, I think I can do some things differently in my life and have a different experience. I hope people watching this podcast will say that. Like, what I just experienced, I can make some changes in my life. So we're kicking around certain ideas, and different networks want different things, and different, you know how that whole thing works.
Of course.
So we'll see. I mean, the next few months we'll be making some announcements, and things will become public and a big deal. Hopefully.
Wait, before we go, we got the interns here. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? These are the interns. They showed up late.
Oh, I saw a homie. I literally thought we were going to get shot. I saw a homie peeking through the door. And I was like, he's going to get you.
Once you hear his voice, you know you're safe.
I was literally
There'd be a lesson in it, though. There'd be a purpose in it.
Nothing to be afraid of, sir.
All right, I want you to please tell the people where they can find you, where they can reach out to you, where they can talk to you. Tell them everything that's going on.
Yeah, you can find me on social media. Just look up Elliot Connie, my handle. On Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads is at Elliot Speaks, 2 L's and 2 T's. I don't know if people leave off a T off your
Yo,
list.
people add a T to mine. I'm 1 T.
You 1 T.
Yeah, so
you
people
make my
always-
life horrible. Because
Yeah,
everybody
you
tries-
make my horrible. I'm like, guys, 1 T. Shit.
Yeah, Elliot with two L's and 2 T's at Elliot Speaks. You can go to my website, ElliotConnie.com, and find all things about me. And I'll be at the Comedy Chateau on Friday.
Wait.
Doing
Now
comedy.
we got to extend
over that.
We got to extend.
We glossed over
This
that.
is the extension. This is the 5-minute extension. What? Tell me, how did you get to stand up? How did that come?
I saw
Tiffany
the
talked
clip.
you into it. Tiffany said, "Get on stage."
Tiffany said get on stage.
Okay.
So Tiffany had been saying for like a year, like as Tiffany and I got close and been working on these projects, she was like, "You're really funny," and I was like, "Yeah, but there's a difference between being funny and doing comedy.
Right.
Respect.
I'm not doing that."
Right.
But I've been on stages for 20 years, like talking to people. So Tiffany, the strike happened, so people in the entertainment world didn't have a whole lot to do, and I was doing an event in Anaheim.
Right.
And Tiffany's like, "I'm gonna come watch." I was like, "Oh, thank you, cool." So Tiffany comes to Anaheim and watches me teach, and she goes, "You don't know it, but you are already doing stand-up." And she said, "I'll tell you what, I'm doing an event, and I want you to come and open for me." I was like, okay. Let me think about it. So I go, Now it's funny, right? Because Tiffany doesn't say nothing. She says, "I want you to come and open for me." I know nothing about the comedy world whatsoever. So we get there.
Is the Irvine?
No, it wasn't Irvine. Irvine was actually the second one I did.
It wasn't improv though.
It wasn't improv. What's the one that's haunted?
No shit.
You were actually there like 2 or 3 weeks after we were there.
On
San
Terra.
Jose, maybe? I can't remember.
San
Oh,
Jose.
that
San
looks like
Jose.
that could be haunted.
Okay, yeah.
Upstairs.
Okay, so we go there, and Tiffany comes. I mean, y'all have seen. She looks like she has been dipped in millionaire movie star diamonds. And I'm wearing a sweatsuit, like I'm wearing a champion sweatsuit. And then I get in the car and I realize, like, I ain't asking enough questions.
Yeah.
I said, Tiffany, how long do you need me to perform? She said 5 minutes.
Oh.
No, I've got no idea what I'm gonna say
Right.
when I take this stage. And her manager, her road manager in the car, and he says, "Did you tell him how many times he has to perform?" And I said, "Tiffany, how many times?" And she just went, "Huh." That's all she did. And he was like, "We're twice tonight. There's Friday night, twice Saturday,
And one Sunday.
and one Sunday."
5 shows.
I said, "I had to do this 5 times in a weekend." And Tiffany, now you need to surround yourself. Another little nugget about successful people. If you watch this replay of this podcast over, watch how many times I said what successful people do and put them together. This is the plan to succeed in anything. Another thing successful people do is they surround themselves with people who psychopathically believe in them. So Tiffany sees me.
Shit, man.
Tiffany sees me freak out.
Say that
Damn.
shit, bro.
So I'm like, Tiffany, man, I can't do this 10 minutes.
Y'all see me going through it while he's talking?
He's like, I got to get rid of this motherfucker.
Listen, I'm so, bro. What was my motto for 2023?
Yeah, no new
can't
friends.
go.
Yeah, everybody can't
That's
go. Yeah.
24.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
2023 was everybody can't go because I've been holding on to a bunch of friends,
Right.
just dragging them with me. That bag of shit, and these motherfuckers just coming with me.
Yeah. So Tiffany sees me and she's like, "Bro, you can do this. I would never ask. This is my career. I would never ask you to do this if I didn't think you could do it." And I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but I took the stage the first time and killed.
No, it doesn't sound ridiculous.
Never done stand-up in my whole
Doesn't
life.
sound ridiculous at all.
I got the recording. Killed. And then I did it again. Next 2 nights did it again. Next night. And I was like, this feels like making someone laugh is almost as amazing as helping people overcome whatever the psychological
It's more amazing for me.
Yeah.
It's the most
You
amazing thing
like
in the world to write a joke on a piece of paper, tell it to 500 strangers, and they fucking explode in laughter.
No.
There's nothing better than that except maybe busting a nut with the chick who was trying to. Like, the
You
chick
couldn't leave it
wanted.
alone.
To be fair, you have never done therapy. So you don't.
I've done therapy, not on your level.
On stage.
I'm with Joe Fox every weekend. I do therapy.
Yeah.
So that happened, and I was hooked. Whether it's, I think it's the best thing in the world or
You not
not.
do
It's,
therapy with Joe Fox?
Yeah,
close.
boy.
but I was
I had
absolutely
to
hooked.
cry. I had to cry for help. Yeah, go ahead.
No, we already booked your session. We already booked your session
Yeah, book my
with
session.
Elliot.
I was telling her.
Yeah, I'm paying for your session, man.
Yeah, the strip clubs don't work anymore.
I get distracted. I'm sorry.
But I was hooked after that experience. I was like, this is crazy.
Right.
So then, like the next week, she was like, I'm performing in Irvine. I don't have anybody to host. Will you do it?
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I go host.
You in.
And that was amazing.
You in.
And then I met a guy named Justin Hires.
Yeah, we know
That's a
Justin.
homie.
Yeah. Shout out
I
to
love
Justin.
Justin Hayes.
What up, Jay?
I met Justin. And I was telling him, like, man, I got this bug, you know, like this is.
You're in.
And he was like, I'm doing an open mic. No, he's doing a set, like a booked at the Comedy Chateau. Come watch. And we come watch, and I'm sitting there in the audience, and he texted me, come out in the lobby, and the owner of the club is there, and he's like, this dude needs to do more stand-up. And that guy was like, open mic is, Sunday night, I think, whatever it was. Come through, and I'll put you up. So every time I'm in LA, I go to the Comedy Chateau.
you
They
go.
book me now on a Friday. So now
There you
I feel
go.
like, I'm
Hey,
going
never
in front of-
lose that.
No.
Never lose that.
No, I'm telling you. I screenshot these
Never
things.
lose that, yes.
Friday night at 7:30, y'all want me to go, I'm in. Like,
And guess what's
I'm in.
next? Cat Williams. You gonna be?
You gave them all the info where they can find you and everything, right?
Yeah. ELLIOTTConnie.com, at Elliot Speaks across social media. I would love to be in contact with anybody because I love people and no one needs to struggle if they find their purpose.
Joe Feezy.
Yeah.
Joe Feezy, JoeFeezie on everything.
Yo, Trey Elliott, TreyELLIOT. on everything. And I hope I don't get no bill from my Casa Permanente because you don't know how much you just helped me. If I get a bill, I'm coming for your ass.
You'll
But
get a bill from my assistant. I don't work with.
But I
Hilarious. I don't work.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
No, I love that
Follow
having
me.
me up here.
Listen,
Yes.
man, I wanted to go last. I always go last, but I definitely want to go last this time because I just want to thank you so much for your time, bro.
Facts.
I've wanted to have you on the podcast before I had a podcast.
Wow.
When I decided I was going to do a podcast, I said I have to talk to Elliot.
But
When I mentioned that at the comedy store, I said me and this guy need to talk further.
I gotta. So you said you want to go last, but I'm gonna have to go last because I have to
Okay.
tell one thing. I meet a lot of people, and you don't always vibe with people, but that same Tiffany connection, I felt it with you.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, I was talking to somebody about all the people I met, and I met a lot of celebrities. Some of them I hope I never cross paths.
Of course,
with,
me as well.
And others, I'm like, man, I hope I can connect to this person. And it was January 1. And I was talking to my friend, and I was like, I want to text a few people that I don't often text.
Right.
Like, Happy New Year. And you were one of them. And I told him I want to text Tony because I really like the dude, but I don't know. He might think it's weird. And the next day is when you texted me. You said, Happy New Year. You want to be on my podcast?
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I should have texted him yesterday.
Yo, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Like, I think that night when I had that breakthrough in that hotel room was like the baby steps that set this whole thing up because I was like, I got to talk to Elliot because I know this might be something that something bigger than I'm not realizing.
Yeah.
And I think talking to you just now was like confirmation of that. I was literally, they know I was laying in that hotel room, in the hotel I was in. I could see, I had a clear view of the Empire State Building,
Wow.
right? And the Empire State Building, you know, they changed the colors of the top
Yeah.
certain nights for certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that particular night, it was royal blue. And royal blue is my favorite color. And I was laying in a hotel bed, looking up at the Empire State Building. It was royal blue, and that shit sparked this whole thought about like carrying the shit into the next day and all that. And I've healed that relationship I was talking about earlier is healed. I went home for the holidays. I hadn't been home for the holidays in the longest. It was the best Thanksgiving in years.
I love that.
In years, I literally left that Thanksgiving that year like, man, that shit was incredible. And I know it's all because of that night in that hotel room.
I love that.
When I decided I have to fix this fractured relationship.
I love that.
So I encourage people, especially people of color, that think, yo, it's whack, it's weak, it's whatever negative thoughts you have about addressing your mental health or speaking to someone. You heard what we said. Take a session, take 3 sessions. If it doesn't feel organic and natural to you, then move on to somebody else. But we all got to do better because we can do better. We can be better. And being better for you is being better for everybody around you. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate you so much.
No problem.
brother.
I
Yes,
love
sir.
having you. Thank
This
you.
is live from the
thank
green
you.
room.
Wait a minute. We got-
Charleston, I love you so much. And
There you go.
I sipped and I drank the whole night. Yo,
Me too.
Captain Kirk's Rum Punch, our sponsor. Kirk, you the man. Happy New Year to you, brother. Charleston,
Hey.
I love you. Dad, I'll be home soon. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, we can clap for that one. We can clap for that one. We can definitely clap for that one. You want you back. Yeah, man, bro.